Right, so let's get started. First thing you want to do is essentially create an account with Clerk. Then you can access the dashboard. So if you click into the dashboard, what will happen is you'll have all the information you need to get started with your build. On my accounts here, I've got some users that have signed up, but we will start from scratch. So let's delete these users. And then what we will do is we will get set up on the project. So what we want to do is we want to do a Next.js app. So we can do the latest, which is npx create next app. So we'll do the latest, and then we're going to call this the creator hub. Once that creates, it'll go through a few questions. So we want to select yes for TypeScript, no for ESLint, yes for Tailwind. We're just basically following all of the recommended conventions that Next.js provides for us. This will then set up the app for us and get everything set up. Right, so now that is set up, what I want to do is cd into the Creator Hub app. And then all we want to do is open it up in a VS Code terminal. So if we expand this, I can close Copilot down, and this, we want to just create a new terminal in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. And here we have our app router and so on. This is essentially what we would have in the boilerplate for Next.js. And if you don't know about Next.js 15, I've done a crash course on what everything is and all the features that it has to offer. So we're going to skip that for now. What I want to do now is find the docs for Clerk itself. So you can choose the SDK you want to use. In our scenario, we've got the Next.js quick start app router in here. There's a few things on this page that you can use. On the right hand side, these are the steps that you need. And then also you can copy the page as markdown, edit in GitHub. And then this one here is opening ChatGPT, which is a handy tool to have. Essentially what it does is it gives you step-by-step instructions of what you can do in here. If it's not on the docs and you want to find it, then you can find and ask questions in ChatGPT, which is handy as well. So let's just leave this one for now. We're just going to follow this scenario over here, which we've done the first step, which is fine. Then we need to install Clerk/Next.js. So let's install that as well. So in our project, in package.json, we have these as the dependencies: React DOM, React 19, Next.js 15, and then the relevant dependencies. This will also install Tailwind CSS for us. And then we just need to install Clerk/Next.js. So this will install Clerk and everything that it offers for us. Let me clear this out. And what I want to do is run npm run dev. And then if we go back into the docs over here again, it says here, step 3, add Clerk middleware to your app, which essentially grants you access to user authentication state throughout your app, which is handy. So we do need that one. So let me just copy this. And if you don't know about middlewares, essentially middlewares will intercept before anything gets rendered. So this is the first thing that happens before your Next.js app works. And I've also done a tutorial on what middlewares are. So essentially at the top level in the Next.js, we create a new file, and this is called middleware.ts. And in here, we can just paste in the middleware that Clerk provides. So now we just save that. And now we have access to Clerk itself. So now in our app, we can essentially copy this. So now actually, let's just copy this for now and run our app. So this is in the layout.tsx file. So we go in here, go into layout.tsx, Command A and V, and then let's just save that. So now what will happen is it's compile the middleware, that's fine. We just need to go into our local host and let's see what it is. It's 3001. So let's open that one up. And you can see this is our final build. This is what we want to get to. So in here now we have our boilerplate with Next.js. But what you will see here is sign in and sign up. So if we look into what we've just imported in the Clerk Provider, you can see here we have the Clerk Provider, we have the HTML and body tags, and then within the header, so you can see in the top bar, we have the sign out section. So basically we are signed out at the minute. And then we also have the signed in section over here. So what we want to do essentially is we want to display anything that is signed out in here and then display anything that is signed up in here. We have a sign in button, which is a Clerk component. We have a sign up button, which is a Clerk component. And we also have the user button, which is also a Clerk component. So that is all of the components we have. So let's go back into our app again once more. You can see here the sign up button, and then now you have the sign in button as well. This then renders the sign in component that we need. So we can sign in with Google and the email address and so on. So let me just click sign in with Google and let's see what actually happens with this app. We sign in, continue. So this is signing us in. And essentially we should get the sign in account here. So now you can essentially claim your application. So let's go ahead and do that. So we claim the application. This is where we set up everything. So this is where we are going to create the creator hub. So this is the setup. It's the creator hub. Then you press enter. Then we need to set up environment variables. So what we now need to do is create the env local file. And I'm just going to create that for us now. So in here is going to be .env.local, and this is where the keys will be so that we have our authentication linked up with our account over here. So I'm just going to paste them in and then be right back. Right, so now that I've pasted them in, what I want to do next is I want to click resume your development like so. And actually what we could do is we could go into our configuration, into our new application. So let me just refresh this. And in here we have Creator Hub. So let's go into this one. So now that we've configured our application, what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be going through the workspace in Clerk, what you can and can't do. And then we will do that next.